Let's do a small mind trick before we get started. How long do you suppose 1 million seconds is from the top of your head? 1 billion seconds, perhaps? Okay, keep your answer because it will come handy in later. Have you ever wondered how the super rich put their money to work? I mean, it has to be different than most people. And you're right, the world's ultra-rich, billionaires, and finest investors follow a set of principles considerably reduce their risk while maximizing their returns. Tony Robbins spent 4 years hanging out with the world's top 15 investors to learn the concepts that have made them so successful and how you may apply them. I'm sure the majority of you are eager to learn how to invest your money in order to reach financial independence. I know this because it is the most frequently asked subject on this channel, despite the fact that most of us understand that we cannot put all of our money into one investment and expect it to make us super rich with no risk. It's simply not feasible. We'll have to learn how to preserve our investments because there are a lot of people out there who want a piece of our riches. What if I told you about an investment opportunity where you put 100% of your money into it? You assume 100% of the risk, but I manage your money, and if we make money, I take 60% of the profits. But if the investment loses money, you lose money, but I still get paid. What would you say? I'm guessing you knew the answer in less than a second. You wouldn't play in a game where the odds were stacked against you. But according to Tony Robbins, 90% of American investors own mutual funds with terms that are quite similar to this. I know what you're thinking. How can you persuade 92 million Americans to agree to these terms? As Jack Bogle, creator of the Vanguard organization, points out, it's all about marketing because most people don't do the math. Let me restate what I just said in the manner in which mutual fund brokers try to approach you. If you invest $10,000 in my fund when you're 20 years old and earn a 7% yearly return, you'll have over $574,000 when you're 85. Sounds nice, right? However, I failed to mention that you will be required to pay 2.5% in administration fees and other costs. It may seem like much, but by 85, you will only have $140,000, implying that you have given up nearly $439,000 in fees, or 77% of your financial progress. Fees and charges are something that the ordinary investor overlooks, and that can have a significant impact on an investment's potential growth. Fees that appear tiny at first compound over time. The ultra-rich go to great lengths to make their fees and charges as low as possible. This is one of the main reasons why people try to get as many tax breaks as possible, or why they postpone paying their taxes, since they will earn less with after-tax money, because money will never earn more once it leaves the investment. Let us now turn our attention to you. What is the cost of your dreams? To discover out, let's undertake a simple activity. How much money will you require from me to be financially stable, independent, or free? You don't have to be correct, simply guess. You should write this down on a piece of paper because we'll need it later in the video. Have you got your phone number? Is it $1 million? Is it $5 million? Is it $500 million? Is $1 billion involved? Okay, the number you just put down might appear scary right now, but don't worry. We'll break it down in a minute. It's vital to note that people have a difficulty comprehending large numbers. We hear the phrases millions, billions, and even trillions banded around so frequently that we don't fully comprehend their size. Now, at the start of this video, I asked you to guess how long 1 million seconds and 1 billion seconds are. Are you prepared to receive the answers? 1 million seconds equals 12 days, and 1 billion seconds equal 32 years. Were you close to figuring out the answer? This is only to show how little we grasp the enormity of these figures, and how the number you just typed down could be far greater than what you actually require to live the life you want. Let's break down the price of your dreams now. Let's start with financial security, which includes how much you spend on things like your mortgage, utilities, food, transportation, and insurance. What if these 5 things were paid for the rest of your life without you having to work to pay for them? How much better would your quality of life be if this happened? In the United States, average basic household expense is now just over $34,000. Multiply your annual spending figure by 20 to get the number you'll need to be financially comfortable, according to Tony. Now, there are two ways to attain this aim. The accumulation phase, in which you save and invest your money to get to your goal, and the deaccumulation period, in which you enjoy your money while it works for you. When you have enough money saved up, you can invest in vehicles with a higher return but a larger risk. Use your investments to survive without having to work during the accumulation phase. Then you transition to safer, more conservative return. Consider the original number you typed down. If you really complete this exercise, you'll be surprised to see that your ideal number of financial security is definitely closer than you previously thought. And this is just financial security. We can use the same approach to figure out how much money you'll need to reach financial independence. This is not just to cover your basic needs, but to live the lifestyle you desire. By breaking down how much your lifestyle costs per year and multiplying it by 20, according to Tony, you will have the target number you need in safe investments to be able to live the lifestyle you desire without having to work. Let's get into the specific investment techniques that these ultra-wealthy, high-performing individuals employ. We've all heard not to put all of your eggs in one basket, but is this really true? Diversification is critical, according to David Swanson, an institutional investor who grew Yale's portfolio from $1 billion to over $23 billion. Remember the stock market meltdown of 2008 where many people lost their retirement money, their houses, and their savings? But not much for Ray Dalio, the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, who lost only 3.9% of his gains, implying that he still made money on average. To invest now, you'll need two buckets, a safe bucket and a risky growth bucket. The safety bucket contains investments that do not typically yield high returns, but do not pose significant risk, meaning you will not lose nearly as much money if the market falls, which it will. Money markets, bonds, CDs, market connections CDs, which provide higher returns to your pension if you have one, lower interest annuities. Be careful because they may have a lot of hidden fees. And security notes are examples of these investments. I won't go into greater depth about how it works because I addressed the most of it in my investing basics video. Of course, you will have to examine each individual asset and the entity that issued it to determine its legitimacy. Risk growth buckets are where you take more risk in exchange for greater rewards. The most common risk growth assets are equities such as stocks, company ownership, mutual funds, indexes, or ETFs, as well as real estate where you can buy the actual building and use it as a rental property or flip it for profit or buy real estate investment trusts. Security notes can also be riskier depending on which one you choose. Now, according to Tony, many people make the fatal mistake of putting the bulk, if not all of their savings, into their risk growth bucket. According to Swanson, the market will use 50% to 70% at least once in your lifetime. So, you don't want to risk losing the majority of your life savings. There are three elements to consider when deciding how much risk to assume. The first is your current life stage. How much do you have to make mistakes and recover if necessary? If you're younger, you can be more aggressive because you have more time to recover if you lose. Second, your accessible liquidity. If you earn a lot of money and have a large gap between your income and expenses, you can afford to make more mistakes and still make up for them. The third factor is your risk tolerance. This is entirely up to you and what brings you joy. The best investors in the world understand that they are likely to be wrong, so they designed an asset allocation portfolio to protect them even if they are wrong. Unlike many investors who try to predict what the market will do and put their money and other people's money at risk, they can profit in the long run even if they lose in the short term this manner. This is why diversification is so crucial. As vital as these two buckets are, there's one more that's equally important. Your dream bucket. The aim of the first two buckets was for you to enjoy yourself, to buy yourself your desires right now, right? To a higher standard of living. This bucket is intended for you to spend and enjoy. So, whether it's date evenings with your significant other, saving for a trip to the Bahamas, or purchasing a property, you can do it. There are a few different ways to save money for your dream bucket. You can save a percentage of your income till you save enough to buy your desires. Or you can take the winnings and divide them among all the buckets if your growth bucket has a huge hit and is growing. This way, you'll be motivated to keep earning more, saving more, and investing more wisely because you'll be improving your life and achieving the goal you've set for yourself. Okay guys, that was my opinion on Tony Robbins' book, Money, Master the Game. This is a wonderful book and it ranks among my top financial books since it contains actionable advice. It's hard to cover everything in this book in such a short film, so I strongly advise you to read it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below what you'd love to see next, and I'll see you in the next video.